It's the show after the show.
Wow, we sound really lively.
So it's Monday.
Yes.
Before we get into this, the topics for the after show, which you can see in the title and stuff, producer Butters and I found out some really interesting information.
Uh-oh.
So producer Butters and I were joking about the things we normally joke about, the building burning to the ground, common. And I made a joke. I said, how many times do you have to put out a fire before you can consider yourself a semi-professional firefighter? I think a very relevant question, because if I put out a fire once, like if this building just starts raging and I take it out with an extinguisher, I get to be, I think, at least semi-professional firefighter because I saved the building.
Okay.
So producer Buddy's like, I don't know. Google always thinks it knows everything. Let's Google it. And we stumbled across a website that was 11 tips to becoming a firefighter. And there's one that stood out more than the others to producer Butters and I.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Can you guess what it is?
No, I don't want to try. Go ahead. Tell me.
You have to have a good credit score.
Ah.
That's one of the tips. And I'm like, in what world do you get there and they're like, oh, you meet all the physical requirements. You hate fire. That's a really big thing. And credit score's trash. Sorry. Like what? Like what? A tax building gonna get on fire? Like go in there, like you know what? Actually, I'm not comfortable with this. I think we let that sucker burn to the ground. I gotta be honest.
To be fair, I think they just took the article and just changed a few that put firefighter in there.
Yes.
Probably.
Because everyone knows firefighters not only stop things from burning down, they fight tax evasion, obviously, as well. Like, no idea what's happening here, but I was so confused by that tip, and it bothered me a lot. That being said,
you know you have to be able to qualify for a car and a house before you can become a firefighter,
Right.
okay?
And a credit
if you
card.
can't be trusted with your own money, we can't trust you to beat back fire. It's just that simple. And then something. There was another one in a different article. It was like, do you do practical experience or education? And the producer Butter's like, is there a Bachelor of Science in firefighting somewhere?
I don't think there's a bachelor's, but there is like a program, like a training program.
I was just saying it has to be a vocational thing.
Yeah.
Which can you imagine? You ever seen Evolution, the movie? Have you seen Evolution?
Yeah, a long time ago, yeah.
The opening scene, the guy who plays Stifler from American Pie, the whole thing is he's trying to become a firefighter, and there's a comet that crashes into the earth. So the opening scene is him practicing. So he takes this blow-up doll and throws it into a shed, and he sets the shed on fire, and he does all the voices while he's trying to save her. He's like, Cindy had a party. Cindy got home and was too drunk to stay awake, so she fell asleep smoking. Bad choice, Cindy. And the shed starts catching on fire. And then a meteor crash. That's just the thing. That's what I pictured the vocational school would be. Is people would just come in around and they'd prank you by setting your mattress on fire. Be like, what do you do? The bed's on fire.
I don't think that's how it is at all.
I think I'm close. I think I'm pretty
They
close.
come wake you up at 2:00 in the morning. Hey, the car's on fire. Go get it.
Like, feel the door. You got to feel the door. It's hot. That means there's probably fire in the hallway. It's not a good way to go. What do you do? Stay low. Smoke. Stay low. Like that scene in The Office where Dwight gets mad that nobody takes the fire safety seriously. So he just starts closing doors and setting stuff on fire. Yeah, stuff like that, basically. Just all the time.
I don't think that's how it is. But
I think it is.
Sure.
Okay, so the first, so there was a woman who went viral on TikTok because she shared the story. So she gets her kids water bottles each day to take with them to school, and the kids started noticing this really sweet flavor, despite the fact that it was just regular filtered water. And so she cleaned the bottles, and they still noticed it. And only for her to go to her freezer and find out that a bottle of whipped cream vodka was leaking onto the ice that she was putting into the bottles. So that was what the sweet flavor was.
Hold on a second. I thought doesn't vodka not freeze?
It does it. It was dripping, like the bottle itself was dripping onto their ice that they were putting in the bottle.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yes,
wow.
but no, it doesn't.
I bet they felt pretty good afterwards.
I don't think they drank very much of it because I can't imagine it was that much. The thing is, like, well, I would say that, but then it's sweet. I'm like, what kind of trashy vodka are you getting? There's no good vodka that's sweet. That's why it's sweet. It's because it's bad vodka.
Like
This is
Smirnoff,
true.
maybe? Isn't that vodka?
Yeah, it'll have a hint of it, but it's still going to taste like you drank hairspray afterwards.
Fun
went
fact:
down,
I can't
smooth.
drink those.
Anyway,
no.
So I think honest mistakes, you try to solve it, not a big deal. It's a oops moment because I think basically what parenting is you're trying to maintain the collector's value of your kids. You're trying not to get too many dents or creases or scratches or whatever, but inevitably you're going to. And so my question is, what was your parents' oops moment? Something your parents did and you're looking back, you're like, that was a mistake.
I have to think back. Hold on.
There's just so many of them.
Yeah, I really don't know. Like, I can't think of anything.
Well, so I was the sixth of 6 kids, so my parents pretty much had it figured out by the time I came around.
Yeah, all the kids. That's why people have multiple kids. The other kids raise the kid. That works. You have older siblings.
That's how they do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. This is. You're
I mean,
thinking hard.
I feel like if they made like an oopsie, they didn't really tell me.
Oh, so we all still have them repressed then. Because like my mom used to leave us alone all the time, and it really wasn't a problem until the one time that my brother deafened me in the ear, and then it really was a problem. Because he took a toy lightsaber, yay big, and then jammed it in my ear and punctured my eardrum. And then my mom thought we were messing around because we wrestled all the time, and I'm like, what? And she's like, oh, maybe we had to go to the doctor for this one.
Oh no. Honestly, I think my parents' biggest oopsie with me was honestly letting me roam around free and the dairy farm that we used to live in. Now that I think back, like I used to climb like mountains of probably it was chicken poop, M&M. Like they just had a bunch of piles of stuff, and I just thought it was the funnest thing to like climb up it.
Gross.
And now that I think about it, like, what if my uncle decided to like run the machine and like I'm in there buried because there's like mountains, and he just like grabs like with the machine.
All of this is terrible. I hate all of this.
I was thinking of the same thing with the hay bales because I used to climb up through the hay bales because my grandparents had like a farm or whatever, so we'd climb up on the top of the hay bales. But do you know how dangerous that is if you like fell through the crack?
I don't personally, but I'm sure you will enlighten me.
I mean, there's no getting out. Like you're stuck.
Ugh, that sounds not great.
Yeah.
I think just letting us roam free in farms.
But that's how we discovered and learned.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff Foxfield has a great bit about it. He's like, my parents, all this new age stuff. My parents like, he'll learn. Is like, what you want to pull that 400-pound TV on your head? Yeah, you'll learn a lesson here in a second.
Letting me pull my sister behind the snowmobile, 100 miles an hour. Yeah.
Oh my god.
In a sled.
What's the worst?
She had fun.
What's the worst that could go wrong?
A face full of snow. Could have wrecked.
Oh god.
I'm not saying that I never did, but
Oh my gosh. See,
we didn't call it the Rocket 500 for nothing. Oh, I would race cars. It was fun.
Oh. Well, let's be honest. That's the best stuff. If it's not dangerous, it's not a good. My mom my mom really should have interjected. So we used to have, those, what is it? Fisher Price, right, is the one that makes the toys for the kids, babies and stuff. So we used to have a Fisher Price wagon so you could pull the kids around. And so my mom had taken I think it was both of my sisters at that point on a walk, and she came back. And where my mom used to live in her townhouse, there was it came down as a hill. There was a slight hill that came down and curved, and then her house was right there. So my brother and I get in this wagon. We're like, we're going to take this down this hill. Only for me to realize I cannot turn this nearly enough. So then I tried to adjust and turn too sharply, and we just... from my ankle to my knee was just one giant scab on both legs. Mm-hmm. And now thinking back, I'm like, you probably should have said something, because there was only one way this was going to go, and it was terribly. We were going to magically make this one work.
You'll learn.
yeah, we never did it again. You're right.
Yep, that's why she let you do it. Because she said she would have said no, you'd have been like, oh yeah?
That pain lingered. You remember that one.
Yep.
I honestly am amazed. I have had 0 broken bones.
Me too.
Same here.
I have no idea how that's
statistically
ever
impossible.
happened.
Statistically
I mean, I've had a dislocated finger, phalange,
Not
and
me.
I've had 2 sprained ankles at the same time, but I have not had a broken bone.
I have not either. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Let's move on before the jinx karma of jinxes realizes that it needs to check in with us on that specifically. My other question was along these same lines. So there was a story of a woman who was out for a hike in Washington State, and for whatever reason, she was using the outhouse and then was like, I take that back. She must have decided she's a squat and surfer, which I respect, but she dropped her phone somewhere. I don't know where. I don't want to talk about that. So then she was trying to look for it. She got her head stuck.
What?
In the outhouse.
Nope. No.
Why?
It's gone.
That's what I'm saying, right?
No.
I'm filing lost phone. Not coming back out.
Like what? No.
I agree.
100% no.
So that is like
just hope you backed it up to the cloud because you ain't getting it. Nope.
Could you imagine the 911 call? This
Wait, how did
lady's
she
stuck.
actually get
she
her
got
phone?
her phone back.
Oh Jesus!
Ew!
I mean,
But she got
Dang it.
It wasn't worth it, obviously. She had to speak ironically, to bring this full circle, she called 911. Firefighters had to get her out.
we were not trained for this.
But they had great credit scores, so it was cool.
Yeah.
They were able to figure it out from there.
Had to get through that crap.
I just want to sit down with a firefighter and be like, so, what is the weirdest call you've been on? Because
This has
I'm
to be
pretty
up there.
sure they've
Oh, for sure.
seen some
So
things.
this had to be up here. So my question was, did you ever get your head stuck at anything? And if not, anybody else share the fear I had as a kid, which was just of banisters or like anything that was basically, you had the whatever material that went across like this and it just had bars come down because there was fences or gates that looked like that. Because I was terrified. I was scared of banisters because there was so many cartoons or TV shows where that happened. I was like, I know, I'm just going to get my head stuck in there. So I don't like this. I don't want to be anywhere near it.
No.
No?
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
no head stuck and no fear of banisters.
no. I mean, my cousin got her knee stuck in like a fence thing when we were hiking. But
How do you get your knee stuck?
so we were looking at this beautiful waterfall, and she was playing. So she like kept putting her knee in like this little gap there was between the fence.
Uh-huh.
And then on one of those, she just couldn't get it out. She was like, I'm stuck. And I was like, how?
Okay, that reminds me actually of a story. We were playing, I was in marching band. It must have been, it was either my junior or senior year. And we always, my high school always goes up to this place called Twin Lakes. And it's in the middle of cornfields. Like, it's legitimately like miles of cornfield school. And then if you kept going, it'd be cornfield. So we were there. It was a rainy day, and we had done our warm-up and everything, so we had some time to kill. So someone brought a Frisbee, so we were just throwing a Frisbee around. Well, a friend of mine, he was running to chase it, and he caught it, and then he tried to put the brakes on real fast, but he slid, and somehow in doing so, he got his foot through a chain-link fence and had his foot like this. And so we're all like, oh, man, get up. And he's like, oh, no. And we're like, oh, no, did he tear something? Because he's like, I can't get up. And we're like, did he get injured? Because we're not going to hear the end of that. And he's like, I can't get out. So then we go over there and we're like, how did we get him? Like, how did this happen? And we're like, how are we going to explain this? We have to go get someone to cut his leg? Like, how? We're like, all right.
Cut his leg.
Yeah, to cut it out. I meant to say, of course, you got to make jokes like, all right,
Sorry, you're losing your
bite
leg.
down. We're going to have to cut it off at the ankle. But it's like, how did you do that? We got it out in time, thank goodness.
Pure force.
That was the same year, ironically enough, that was foreshadowed because I think it was my senior year. That year we went and did, I think, only one doubleheader my entire 4-year career, and one of my very good friends could not make it because he got a concussion playing tackle football the day before.
Oh. Well.
Yeah. So luckily it wasn't 2 straight people missing performances due to injury, but I don't know how you did. Apparently, you get enough mojo going, you can slide your foot right through that sucker with shoe on and everything. Like, I would have understood a foot, but the shoe is what made it such a mystery.
I guess with enough force, you can get anything anywhere.
I mean, meanwhile, you be all right. You good?
I'm good.
All right.
I'm sorry.
So on that note, future firefighters out there, remember 2 things: good physical fitness and a great credit score.
Yeah. Don't mess with your credit score if you want to be a firefighter, okay? All right.
This has been the show after the show.